I hope the commission does not take this out on them at all. Because, hey, this is at the end of the day, we're all professionals and this is entertainment. Everybody got to see, the outcome. I will tell you this. I do hope that nothing happens to Sean or Chris. I like those guys. I really do. And I hope nothing happens to them. On my end, if they ask me, I don't want anything to happen to those guys. Now, if the opportunity comes to fight Sean Strickland or Chris for money, sanctioned in the UFC, I will take that fight.
All right, everybody, at this point, you have seen this man's face everywhere. He picked up another stoppage win on Sunday at Tuff-N-Uff 145 in Las Vegas against Miles Hunsinger, and then all hell breaks loose. So let's hear why that all happened, being joined by the stash himself, Luis Hernandez, who is still in Las Vegas. How are you, sir?
Good and you, sir. Healthy and happy and ready to fight again soon, hopefully.
A lot of craziness in Las Vegas right now, but as you have found out, things can get pretty wild in this MMA space. This clip of the finish and the aftermath has been, like I said, absolutely everywhere for the past 18 or so hours as we record. And we'll get into specifics in a moment, but have you ever seen yourself so much on social media in your life?
Yes, I actually had a viral head kick knockout. It went viral. It was a 3-second head kick. They were saying it was the fastest knockout ever. And I got so much viral, like online. And it was awesome. They talk. Everybody wants to hate because it's a record. And I think this is actually going more viral than the head kick itself. Okay. And it's crazy. I knew this was going to be a big weekend because, I always go for the finish. I want to entertain people. That's my thing. I want to be an entertainer. I fight. I'm a cop. And I want to entertain. When I'm inside the cage, I'm able to, go out there and make sure the crowd enjoys the fight. They're going to pay to see, a finish and be entertained.
Yeah, I think you were part of delivering that, no doubt about it. And so let's just talk about the big moment because it's the second round. You got the guillotine choke on, your back is against the cage, and you look at Miles's corner and you stick your tongue out, and the broadcast said, oh, it looks like he's sticking out his tongue at Sean Strickland. So let's kind of start there. How did this all start, this back and forth with you and Sean? Who said the first thing? Who fired the first verbal shot, if you will?
So when I saw them walking out from their corner, I don't want to go too crazy on like details, but I noticed they looked at me and they laughed. They said something. I think he said something to one of the other cornermen, or I know it was like 3 of them. They said something and they started laughing at me, and I was like, man, I'm not a joke. I believe I am the real deal. I got 11 fights, 6 pro fight finishes now, and 5 finishes as an amateur. So they probably think, oh yeah, this guy's a cop. And, they looked at me and I saw them laughing. And I was like, oh, okay, you're going to laugh at me? I'm going to get the last laugh. And, some things were said both, when the fight was going on, I heard, some things being said. I'm trying to remember everything now. But it was just, I was having a great time. I just wanted, to have fun. And, when the whole moment happened itself, you see me laughing. I was just like, hey, I'm I want to show that, there's 2 sides. I have my career, and then inside the cage, I'm able to, have fun. This is literally fun for me. I enjoy it. This is my passion. At work, I'm a professional, being in law enforcement, and I have to, I do everything by the book. In the cage, I get to have fun. It's like I get to flip the switch, enjoy myself, and I honestly think, things escalated. I was like, I didn't expect that at all. You see me, I'm laughing. I'm like, I didn't expect what happened to happen. I was like, okay, I guess this is happening.
What did you, so when you're sticking your tongue out at him and you have the guillotine on, and you're in the heat of the moment, so you may not have heard what they said to you, but what did you say to him? Because whatever you said at that moment before the crowd stopping in the top, yeah.
I believe I heard, oh, he's tired. His arms are going to blow out. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Blow the kiss. And I did the tongue. I was like, ah! I was just like so ready. I was like, I think a lot of people see me and they're confused and like, what I'm capable of. I believe I am the real deal. and I was like able to show, I heard them saying like little things, and I was just like, I was focused. Miles is a hell of an opponent, man. I truly respect him. The guy was in the Ultimate Fighter house, 7-1, and he took this fight on short notice because I've been having issues getting opponents, and this was a great, experience, and I honestly had like I said again, a great time, with sticking the tongue out. Like I didn't think he was gonna take it that personal, because I'm pretty sure he does a lot of talking in the cage.
Yeah. So when he's actually like, because the moment happens, we see Chris come in and he's walking like kind of fast towards you, but almost in a peacemakery kind of a role. Like he wanted to almost like big brother talk to you. And then Sean made a freaking beeline for you and he's yelling and screaming at you. And then he punches you. There's a couple of punches at you because you said like you didn't think it would get this far. So as Sean is approaching you and you realize, all right, he's really pissed. He's throwing punches at me. What is going on in your head at that point?
I was like, what's going on here? I was like, is this a reality TV show? What's going on? I felt like I was almost in like how they have the Russian Tough, on the Russian Tough that people just start fighting. I was like, what's going on here? I was like, damn, I'm actually, I like Sean Strickland. What's going on here? I wasn't expecting, to escalate to that level at all. Because I'm like, man, I hope he knows, like, I'm a professional fighter, but I'm a cop too. You're just swinging on somebody, for I don't know what reason. It was something I wasn't expecting at all.
Did any of the punches land clean? It's hard to tell on the broadcast, but did anything like
there's some angles, and I said it. He hit me, and I'm still standing. I'm still smiling. Still look good. These are actually from Miles. Maybe one of these might have been from Strickland, but I wasn't expecting that at all. Honestly, if this was a sanctioned bout, might as well. We could do it. I'll do it for money. If me and Strickland want to fight for money, I'll do it for money. I wasn't expecting unsanctioned fight, but if this would be a matchup, in the future, most definitely, I'll do it 100%.
Yeah, there's definitely a storyline there now, and if you watch the clip, Sean throws the punches. The referee Chris Tione pulls Sean away, and then Chris kind of maintains sort of a collar tie on you, and he's trying to talk to you before he eventually gets pulled away. What is Chris Curtis saying to you in this moment?
He was saying something like, I believe he said, "Don't do that," or something to that extent, and then I shoved him off because I was like, man, the actual promotion itself, I don't know who it was. They didn't let my corner come in, and I'm glad they didn't, because we're trying to be professional here, and they made sure my corner people couldn't get in. But at the same time, I think things escalated to a point where they shouldn't have, because I don't want anything to happen to these guys. These guys are professional fighters, just like I am. I have a career; they have their career, and I think I would say they're squashed on my end. I have no bias against anybody from that corner, that team. That's a great team. Extreme Couture is a great team. I'm still here in Vegas. I was like, hey, maybe I could go train there. Now I don't think so much, but yeah, right. I really have nothing towards them, and I would say this. I hope the commission does not. Like they even asked me, they're like, hey, you're gonna press charge? I'm like, what? No. And I would never want anything to happen to these guys because I actually like them. And I hope they watch this. And, I have nothing against Sean, nothing against Chris, nothing against Extreme Couture. I like those guys,
So no, because normally when things like this happen, there'll be like a DM on Instagram being like, all right, man, like, sorry about that. Like it went a little too far. My bad. Anything. I don't expect Sean to do that. Chris, probably I could see at some point reaching out, but has there been any further discussion?
Possibly
maybe like a DM or anything?
Possibly there has been a little discussion. I would say we're all adults here, and I have nothing against them. And I will say this again: I hope the commission does not take this out on them at all, because hey, this is at the end of the day, we're all professionals, and this is entertainment. Everybody got to see the outcome. I will tell you this: I do hope that nothing happens to Sean. or Chris. I like those guys. I really do, and I hope nothing happens to them. On my end, if they ask me, I don't want anything to happen to those guys. Now, if the opportunity comes to fight Sean Strickland or Chris for money, sanctioned in the UFC, I will take that fight.
Fair enough. So Sean or Chris, have any of them reached out to you?
Sean, me and Sean have talked a little bit.
You guys have talked. Okay.
Yeah.
What can you share anything from those conversations or not?
I'd rather keep it between us, but I will say that we're both adults. Things escalated. I had a good time. He had a good time. Actually, I wanted to see if we can meet up today. We were trying to see. I wanted to get a picture with Sean. I like Sean. I really do. I truly have nothing against him at all. Maybe one day we'll share the cage against each other. If it's in the UFC, I will definitely, sign that contract and get paid.
So are we somewhat cool, I guess? Can I ask that?
What was that?
You and Sean, are we?
Hey, listen,
cooler heads have totally prevailed, but we're in a better spot.
When that happened, I told the commission inside the cage and after, I go, hey, please let me talk to Sean, to tell him, because at the end of the day, I would never want anything to happen to anybody. This is inside the cage. I'm not hurt. He's not hurt. And, one day we'll be able to share the octagon against each other. I hope. And I actually really don't want anything to happen to him, because I don't feel it's fair. We both, two wrongs don't make one right. I was having fun, and they took it to another level. But hey, it is what it is. I'll get the last laugh.
With a moment like this that spreads, I mean, getting the win is obviously the more important thing. So now you're 6-0 as a pro with 6 finishes,
yes.
And now you have this viral moment that everybody has seen. You have to imagine this leads to something big, right? Even a contender series spot, or maybe a call for a short notice UFC fight. So ideally, what's the best scenario for you based on this? Maybe there's some regrets that it went as far as it did, but this still is a pretty good thing for you, right? Like, more eyeballs are on you now than maybe ever. And that includes the head kick knockout that you're talking about. But ideally, where do you think this leads?
I honestly think this leads, hopefully, an opportunity to show the world who I am and be able to fight in the UFC. And I want to represent my department and be an active law enforcement officer. Forrest Griffin left law enforcement, and he became a UFC champion. Why not me? Stipe Miocic did it. I honestly think I have the skill set, the talent, I have the character, and I'm ready to entertain. And, I really want the opportunity to show the world who I am.
So, and you're a Miami-Dade sheriff's officer, correct?
Yes, I'm a deputy sheriff, and I'm in a specialized unit, which is called Priority Response Team. I deal only with, high volume calls like active shooters, shooting, stabbings. So dealing in those moments where, you got shooting, stabbings, that's what I'm saying. When all this happened, I was having a good time. I was laughing. I every single day I work, I don't know if I'm going to come back home. There's moments where things escalate for real, where for me, this was nothing inside the cage. I get to show the world, what I'm really capable of. And, I'm going to go home safe.
How long have you been with this department, and how long have you been doing this particular job for? Because it seems super intense.
Yeah. So this specific unit, I've been 2 years already in the unit itself. We're the first ever in the country to actually bring this unit. And it was pretty much after Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. We're a highly trained unit. I got a couple pro boxers. I got a couple people that train jiu-jitsu. So we all get to train with each other. That's the beautiful thing about the unit. We all get to train. And I want to say the department supports me completely. My Sheriff Rosie, she's the best. And I have a lot of support back home. It's like crazy. And I would say I've been an officer for 6 years. I love it. I'm going to keep doing both. Why not? Look at Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks just became a cop now in Texas. And I want to do both and fight in the UFC and be a full-time officer.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that. Like, I know it's not like exactly the same, but my father was a firefighter in the Boston area for like 35 years. And anytime someone asks what he did, or if he talks to somebody else about their jobs, he always says it was the best job in the world. And it was mostly because of the people he got to work with, the brotherhood, the camaraderie, etc.
Yeah.
And very little, if anything, would have made him want to no longer be a firefighter. Unfortunately, Father Time catches up with all of us. So he eventually retired. He probably worked a little longer than he needed to because he loved it so much. So like you just said, like if you get the UFC call, that's great. You could do both. But if things really start to take off and you get ranked and you start becoming a star in that sport, do you think you would actually be able to do both? Like when I guess everything in your power to try to do both, right?
It's just a matter of time when I get ranked. I will do both. I will do both. I'm going to speak it into existence. I got to believe in it. And I truly believe I will be in the UFC. I will be a top dog, and I will be able to do both. Why not? I have vacation time. I have PTO. I can take some time off, and I'll be able to train, full time before, a fight, a good camp, and be ready. And show. I want to be the next Miami boy to come out. I know we had Jorge Masvidal. I believe I'm going to be bigger than George. I love George. I fought for him in Icon FC. I want to be the next Miami guy to make noise and then have a UFC card in Miami, and I want a headline. I truly believe I will.
Last thing, I know, I love the confidence. Last thing before I let you go, I know you're in Vegas. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but if we're talking a year from right now, if we're having this conversation, a little update, a check-in, if you will, what are we talking about? What are we recapping? What are we previewing? Where are you at right now, 1 year from right now in your opinion?
1 year from now, I would say I'm undefeated. I will be in the UFC. I'll probably have another viral, maybe one or two more viral videos, hopefully for the good reasons. And by then, I truly will be a household name. I really believe I can be a household name, and I want to give a good light to my career and show that we have two lives. I have my professional life, and then I have my civilian life where I can have fun and show the world who I am and have a good time.